I made it a little ways here. I think I'm gonna call it quits on this side for now. It's not 100% perfect, but the problem is it's really cold in Montana right now. My air compressor, the hose, is still frozen. I tried to use it, I aired it up the other day and tried to use it for something, and I can't get any air to come out of the line. I might have to buy a new air line and make it disconnect so I can take it in the house so it quits freezing. My tank in the very bottom, I got a manual purge and an automatic purge. Even the manual purge is froze up, so I'm getting a little bit of water in my tank just because it's hot and cold in here. I don't have climate control in here. You guys know that. So I'm having a little bit of trouble. I have these little tack welds down in the corner here. I can't get my 4.5-inch grinder in there to get that cleaned up. So I do have an air grinder, like a little 90-degree with sanding discs, like Rolox, that I can get in there. I just don't have my air compressor right now. It's really hindering me on a lot of stuff lately, just because it's been so cold in Montana. It's just freezing my air compressor line up. Now, the air compressor seems to be building pressure and everything's working. It's just the actual line that comes off of it, I just have a hose coming off of it and it's freezing up. So I'm gonna call this good for now. You guys can see it's getting there. It looks pretty awesome compared to where it was at. That pinched my finger, that really hurt. Ow! Oh, that was my thumb. Fun. Anyways, so you can see it's right there, you guys. Like, it's back where it should be. You can kind of see those welds a little bit, but once I put a little bit of Bondo in here, you won't ever see any of that. I am gonna body hammer this out just a little bit when I get it off the car. There's a low spot right there where I welded, so I'll put my dolly on this side and I'll hammer it out once I can actually get in from this side with a hammer. With the BMW dash in there, it's hard to swing a hammer and kind of push that back out. So I'll deal with that when I get it off the car, and I'm also gonna rosette weld from this side into the front of that to hold that piece to the cowl. Then this will all be seam sealed. That's like standard stock Jeep stuff from what I can tell. So we're gonna call this side good for now until I can get my air compressor over there working again. That was weird. So I can clean these last little welds out right here. But for the majority, dude, it looks awesome. I am I'm blown away with myself. I can't believe I did that. Like, I'm pretty good with metal, but I've never done a whole lot of sheet metal, so it turned out pretty good so far. So now we're gonna come over here and tackle the really hard side. Ay. I'm kind of starting to feel like the amount of time that I'm putting into fixing this cowl, I could have spent the 600 bucks it costs to buy this. But it's good practice, so when I go to do rust repair on this old truck, it'll look really good there. This will be my practice rig, essentially. So we're gonna start hacking away on this corner. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna build our 1/8-inch frame coming up here. Then we're gonna cut this hole, and we got a lot to cut out. What I'm contemplating doing is making the same patch right here that I did on that side. Then cut this way. Oops. Hold on, we're dropping stuff down in the motor. That's not good. So I'll build this. I'm thinking about building this corner and then coming back and building this patch panel here. The only reason I'm contemplating doing that is because that's a big panel, because I got to go from all the way there, all the way across and down. It's just a big panel. I don't know that's going to be conducive of what I need to do here. I'm going to contemplate on this. It's pretty late on a Saturday. It's a Saturday? Yes. Friday? I don't know what day it is. Day after Thanksgiving. So I'm going to go sleep on this, contemplate what I'm going to do on the rest of this, and we'll get after it later. I've been hacking at my beep, my street beep. So, whoop, better move that. So I got this corner figured out. I better move that further. All right, so this corner is pretty much done. I sprayed a little bit of gray spray paint on it just to keep it from rusting. It looks pretty good, you guys. I actually surprised myself. I thought the sheet metal stuff was gonna be a lot harder. It's way easier than I thought it was gonna be, with just a little bit of tools I have. So You can see that that bracket lines up really good right there. It looks awesome on this side. So we got that side done. I am hacking on this other side. So garbage. You guys can see the amount of metal I've been cutting away from. A lot of this is my plow truck, flatbed, the bed of my truck, this BMW, a lot of the Jeep parts are in here. I got so much freaking metal, you guys. I just don't want to recycle it until the price comes back up. But yeah, in the future, we got a ton of stuff to get rid of. Once I get this thing running and driving, this whole cart's pretty much going away. It's just parts from everything I own right now. And I just don't want to throw it away until I get this thing running. Together, it runs right now, just together. So what I've done, you guys, I did the same thing with the 1/8 inch. I come behind here and I rebuilt this structure behind here. I actually tacked it from the backside this time, unlike over there. I was going to weld that out when I pull this tub back off. I actually could get in here and I tacked it from the backside to this, what good metal is left here for this inner structure. Came back through, I put my piece of 16 gauge up here to even this out just like I did on the other side. This metal was actually good on this side. It was totally good, which awesome. Less work. So I got my other panel made. I literally took my template, you guys. Now I wish I could find it. I gotta find my template. Show you what I did. To make sure these were all even. So this was my template from this side. Bam. My template from this side. So literally what I did, I just folded it back the opposite direction, you guys. So now my template, I can build the exact same part for over here. So I kept my template and I'm gonna reuse it. Same with this corner piece. And actually what's funny is I had another template too. I had the template for right here. On that side over there, this was like rusted way back further. So all I did was cut the template off square and made this piece to weld in here. I've already welded that, smoothed it out. Yeah, that I just flipped it around to make this piece, which fits in there very nicely also. It's hard to get it to stay, but yeah, right in there, man. Looks pretty good. So literally now, this is the other template for that side. I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna cut this piece out too. I was gonna try to make this all one piece, you guys. I got a little bit of distortion going on here, so I'm trying to deal with that before I make this template. But what I did do in the meantime is I made this piece under here. It's like a U-shaped piece. It goes up, back, and down. That goes underneath here. You can see it right here. It was missing because I widened this. So when I widened it, I lost it. So I just built that piece. It's a secondary piece that goes under where the heater ducts are in this cowl. So I got that made. It's just a little bit out of flat. I'm contemplating what I'm gonna do. I'm hoping by putting this panel in here when I build this front one, I can push that up and then tack it in, and it will straighten that out a little bit. So, but you guys can see how much of that cowl I had to cut away. I mean, it's literally from the passenger side all the way to the driver's side. It's bad. You guys kind of heard I wasn't sure if I was going to do this in pieces. I am going to do it in pieces, just because I'm not sure how I'm going to build that yet. And there's so much paint on this Jeep. When I put this piece in here, this is actually higher just because of there's like 6 layers of paint and Bondo on the front of this. So when you run your hand across here, it's actually flat, and then it goes up because of the paint. So I'm gonna try to mimic that over there. So if you do see the imperfection in it, it's the same on both sides. So that same imperfections on both sides. So if somebody sees it, it'll just be like, yeah, that's just, you know, Jeep stuff. Because I ain't no sheet metal guy. I'm learning right now as we speak. So yeah, that's kind of my thought with it. And I am gonna come back and strip all that paint off. I'm gonna buy the Harbor Freight. They have like a rotary yeah, what do they call it? Conditioning tool, I believe is what they call it. I'm gonna strip all this paint someday with that. So I'm gonna get this body together, then I'm probably gonna purchase it and come back and strip a lot of this stuff. Either that or I'm gonna find somebody to sandblast this body and help me repaint it. We'll see. That's a ways down the road. But for right now, we're gonna work on cutting this piece out and getting it in place so I can get my little triangle put into the side. So both those corners will be done. Then I can just build this one piece right here, get it tacked in, then I can pull the body off and I can start working on these center pieces. We got a little bit of body work, body hammering to do to straighten it out just a teeny bit. But yeah, we're getting there, you guys. We're getting the rust dealt with up here. We're still gonna deal with it down here. Same with on the other side. This Jeep rusted out in the same spots every spot. A pillars, B pillars, and this whole cowl, both sides. So yeah, it's rusty, but we're getting there. Once I get this together and back on here, and then we'll start working on the hood, mounting this grill. I'm not sure if you can see my breath. It's flipping cold today. Well, it wasn't really cold. It was cold today, I'm not gonna lie. We had a really awesome day of skiing at the Great Divide. It was kind of icy in the morning, then it snowed like 2 inches, and it was like pow day. By the end of the day, it was awesome. So me and Kyla literally got last chair. It was so mint. For first day out, like, I can't complain. I stayed home today. I had Monday off of work. I literally had to use 2 hours of PTO that we are scheduled laid out, and I got paid for 8 hours. So I stayed home and I did some stuff, laundry. I helped my wife out and myself. I stayed home and did stuff at home. That's all I did. Laundry. I cooked dinner for the first time in the crock pot, and it wasn't too bad. It was actually really good. I finally got out here. I had the heat going all day, but I mean, hopefully you guys can see that. You can totally see my breath. My stove's been going all day. I had my heater up there going for a while. It almost got warm in here, but without a ceiling, it's cold. I got this piece cut out. I'm kind of done for the night, you guys. It's so freaking cold out here. I want to keep working, but I did get this piece made. Well, I got it cut out. It's roughed in, like super roughed in. It's gonna go somewhere there. So we're gonna finish fixing this cowl. It's just too freaking cold right now, you guys. I'm trying. I got some work to do. I literally, when I cut that piece out, I couldn't get that little chunk right there out. It's right in my way. I'm gonna have to pull this tub off and cut that out. My tack weld broke right in here, so I'm struggling a little bit just because it's so cold, you guys. I have no air compressor because it's so cold. My air compressor froze up. I did get that piece templated. I used a piece of cardboard to make this. I asked Santa Claus for some stuff called ram board. Those of you who are not familiar with ram board, it's essentially like when they build a new house and they lay flooring down. It's the paper they put over the flooring so when people walk on it, doesn't put any marks on your flooring. Ram board makes great. It's great for making templates for sheet metal. I saw it on somebody else's channel. I agree. Like this stuff, this is like essentially cardboard boxes, like what JCPenney's used to make all their gift clothing boxes out of. It's essentially the same thickness as ram board. Ram board it's a little thicker. It's thinner than cardboard, but it's way thicker than paper. So you can actually fold this stuff and actually make a shape with it. That's kind of the way ram board is. It's just a little bit thicker. I asked Santa Claus for that for Christmas so that I can make a bunch of these templates. I did that one literally out of cardboard, but you guys, if you're looking for something really good to make templates out of, ram board, like that's where it's at. Like it's just thick enough that you can actually form it. Oh, literally all this is made out of the same stuff. Darn near the same stuff. So this is the same box that you guys saw me make that piece out of. It's ram board, so essentially it's the same thing as ram board. It's like almost the same thickness. You can fold it, you can shape it, but it works great for sheet metal templates. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, you guys. I'm gonna call it quits. Like, I am feeding my fire in my freaking stove, and it is bitter cold out here. I thought it was cold a couple days ago. Like, literally, I'm in long underwear, you guys, and my fire is like, this is my favorite spot right here. I stand here for like half an hour, then I go work for about 3 minutes. It's right next to my stove, and some of my wood is a little green, so it's not really burning really great, you guys. I got some green pieces from Mark's Post and Pole. That's kind of the bad thing about out there. Sometimes you get some green pieces. These ones are just not burning super hot. Usually the green ones I cut them a lot smaller, like thinner, so they burn a little better, hopefully. It's struggling right now because it is so freaking cold. Like, literally, hopefully you guys can see the smoke in my shop, because I keep opening this door, like trying to feed it with cardboard. As soon as I put cardboard in my stove, it's just cold, you guys. I'm trying to get this dealt with. Yeah, maybe after Christmas, maybe this summer. Hopefully we'll get there. I don't know. It's cold right now for sure. I don't know. I'm struggling to stay working that far away. I mean, that's literally, like, this shop's 40 feet long. That's in my second bay. It's cold away from the stove. Like, I wish that car was sitting right here. Then I might be able to deal with it. But even right next to my stove, I can see my breath. It's cold. So, that's kind of what I'm dealing with. I think I'm gonna call it quits tonight. I got, literally all day long, I got that one piece cut out because I was just doing stuff in the house. But we'll get back to that. I did get, oh, maybe, I don't know if I showed you guys that on the last video. I think I did. That horn's totally done. Rust is gone. Not gone, dealt with. I've dealt with this corner. Now I'm making the piece. That's gonna be my new piece right there, you guys. I got that whole cowl to fill. But this corner is structurally strong again. So all the rust is gone out of this corner. I'm not gonna say it's perfect. I don't claim to be a sheet metal guy, and I have a lot of work to do in these, right in here, just like I do on that side. Once I get my air compressor, because you guys know it's froze up. The line's froze. It's that cold in Montana. So if you want to move to Montana, I suggest highly no. No, I'm just joking. Montana's a great place. It's just cold. It's cold a lot. And I'm okay with the cold as long as it's snowing, but we've had minimal snow already this year. So we are working on that piece. Once it warms up, it's, let's see, it's Monday night after work, essentially, if I went to work. But I did get that one piece cut out. We're gonna get that put in. Once it warms up a little bit, I gotta mount my handrails over there. That's my next little project. Yeah, man. But you guys can see the piece is close. This cowl should be done in the next week. Hopefully, should be able to pull this body off, finish weld all this out, grind it, body hammer it up where it needs to be. Rosette weld this way to that piece I'm putting in now, all the way across, including my new piece over here and my new piece over here. So this cowl will be one piece again, hopefully by the end of this week. Weekend. Not this week, because I do have to work 3 days this week at my real job. So we're gonna get that done. If I get all that done and get this mounted back on here, I may deal with this rust hole and the rust hole on the other side of the A-pillar, or I may go to this hood, because I really want to get this grill mounted so I can start working on this back piece. That's kind of where I'm headed. Front, then I'm going to the back, then we're going to build the roll cage and deal with the electrical, nightmare that I got going on. So, wow, sorry. We're working on the beep again. The street beep. You can see she's stripped. I pulled everything off. I had to deal with an area right there that I could not get to while it was sitting on this BMW dash, because it was sitting, ooh, you can see where it sits right there. I couldn't get to this piece sitting on that BMW dash, so I pulled it off. Pulled the whole thing off. I'm gonna tell you guys, I did a lot of work, a lot of grinding, smoothing out. It's not perfect. I still got a ways to go. All I have to work with is that right now. I don't have a DA sander. My air compressor is froze up. Not the compressor itself, but the line. So I don't have any way. I have a DA sander, you guys, right here. I just don't have any way to use it because my air compressor froze up. It's so freaking cold because I don't have a lid in here. Can't keep it warm in here. So I'm dealing with what I got. So I've ground a lot of this away. I got all this dealt with. This. I'm working on this piece. You can see that's a little flexy because I haven't attached this to here. I'm working there though. I did get this piece tacked in. You can see there's a gap. I'm gonna tell you guys, this is not ideal. I wish I had a shrinker stretcher. I would literally take this and I'd bend the flange this way, because it actually goes this way and then downhill. The way this Jeep is kind of put together. Because you can see, if you look this way, you can see there's a little bit of a gap here. This is literally what I can tell online. They seam seal this. I'm gonna pull it back together. I'm gonna clamp it, then rosette weld it, and then seam seal it. And hopefully it lasts till my kids gotta sell this thing. That seems to be the way that Jeep actually put this together originally. I thought about saying screw it and just welding all this all the way across. It's a lot of tack welds, and trying to get in there and grind without an air compressor is tough. So we're gonna seam seal it, you guys, and we're gonna deal with it from there. I think is what I'm gonna do. I'm literally just trying to deal with the rust right now, you guys. But I did get this panel made. I'm gonna clamp this way so I can get this put together. You can see there's a little bit of flex. So I'm gonna clamp this back to essentially form this. This is what I got right here. They're big boys. They should be able to pinch this rail back. So you have this little, it's like a J hook right here going this way. And then you can see my panel right there. You can see I burnt through, don't ignore that. But it's like a J hook right there, and then panel rosette welds to the front of that. Then they seam seal this side. So literally that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take these and I'm gonna clamp them right there on my new piece, all the way down here to get this clamp back. And then I'm gonna make this new piece right here that I'm missing. You can see I'm missing a piece. I'm gonna J hook that. Form it on my bead roll or in the vise. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do it yet, but that's what we're working towards. I just kind of wanted to show you guys where I'm getting. We're getting close. This is actually pretty smooth. You can kind of see my welds a little bit right there. What is showing there will be filled with body filler. I'm gonna body hammer this a little bit and right here. I didn't put this Jeep 100% back together the way it should be. I did overlap this piece right here. So I do have a step right here. The hood's gonna cover this. No one will ever know that it's there. I just felt like it was easier to do it that way at the time when I did it. So that's what I did. But I am trying to get this piece in. I got a little bit of a gap over here. Ignore this. I'm gonna get it filled. I might have to plate it from the backside. I cut this piece when it was on the Jeep and I was a little off. So I do got a little bit of a gap to fill there. Stuff happens. But this corner looks pretty phenomenal. This corner looks pretty good too. Once I get my air compressor unfroze, I've got to deal with a lot of welds. You can see this plate and this side are two different pieces. I got a little bit of welding to deal with right in there with my flat disc on my 90-degree grinder. I don't have an air compressor, so I can't deal with it right now. So I moved on to this. So we're gonna get this all tacked together. We're gonna get this piece, this flexi, attached to here. We're gonna straighten out some of my, I got a little bit of a low spot in here. As we do this, we're gonna lift and pinch so that I can get this where it needs to be, rosette welded from the backside so that I can seam seal this seam. But I will tell you, this is 100% times better than what it was. You guys saw it before. It looked horrible. It's pretty good now. I laid my level across here, sitting on the ground. There is one little teeny gap right here, which will be covered with the window frame seal and the windshield. Once I get it put back on. So we're gonna finish. You can see I got a lot of spot welds there. I'm gonna spot weld a bunch of this top here, get it where it needs to be, then I'm gonna start pinching right here. All the way down and rosette welding from the backside. Now you guys can see too, here's my panel that comes down. We're gonna rosette weld right here too, to hold this panel to the rest of the cowl. Because this is the top side of this panel coming in here. There's a little bit of a gap. We're gonna clamp this, rosette weld, to hold that part of the Jeep cowl to that panel. Once I get that done, we're gonna test fit it again, make sure it's good. Then we're gonna start working on the A and B pillars here, because you guys seen they're smoked. That one's smoked, that one, all 4 of them are done. But it's what I have to work with, you guys. We're getting close. Yeah, I hope you guys aren't getting bored with all this like sheet metal work. Like I'm learning as I go. I'm figuring out how this metal works and moves and does what it does. So let me get this the rest of the way in. We'll start working on these A and B pillars, get those squared away, and get it put back on that BMW so I can start working. I haven't decided if I'm going to go forward. I really want to go forward because I want to get that grill mounted so we can start seeing what's going on. I really want to make that into a cowl hood. I just got a lot of ideas for the front of this, and hopefully after Christmas I can start buying pieces to make this back part, because I only have that and I really need another door opening. Those are my rear fender wells, but I really need another door. I need this section right here. Anybody out there in YouTube land has a tub that's close to Helena, Montana that they want to get rid of for cheap? I need this door opening, because literally that one is my front opening. I need a second one because this is going to be a 4-door street Veep, so I need a second one so I can finish the back of this car out. They make patch panels, they're just a little expensive. I don't want to put a ton of money into this, so I mean I do because it's going to be awesome, but hopefully as cheap as possible, because I do have to cut a bunch of this car away to fix this. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, you guys. I'm going to try to record me working on a little bit of this, so you can actually see that I'm actually doing the work. I got a little bit of gap right here just from the flex of this that I got to fill, because it's just kind of the way the panel laid out. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to work on. I'm going to try to get this buttoned up today. It's Friday. It's like 2 o'clock. I got to go pick up kids, and I'm really running out of wood. It is freaking cold in Montana still, you guys. Imagine that, right? If you don't like the cold, don't move to Montana, because it's cold a lot. With no insulation, it's even colder. I ran both heaters this morning. It's been running since about 9, and it's barely getting warm in here. So yeah, story of my life. Alright, you guys, you can tell this is like super tedious. Like, this is a lot of welding, especially when everything is just a little tiny tack weld. We're gonna get through it. We're getting close, you guys. on this cowl. We'll be done with the cowl here shortly. We'll start working on these A and B pillars right after this. But yeah, it's a lot of tacking, welding, tacking, or not welding, not tacking, welding. Tacking, grinding to get this back where it needs to be. It's a lot of tedious work, and that's just for this top. I may start working on pinching this back and rosette welding some of this to pull it back where it needs to be. I'm gonna put a few more tacks in here. I kind of burned through a couple spots because it's just sheet metal. So we'll keep going at it. You guys notice I'm not wearing a welding helmet, but every time I tack, I put my head down. I'm on really low voltage, really low wire speed just to not burn through this sheet metal. It kind of is what it is with the lights and the camera. It's kind of what I got to do. So yeah, I'm kind of exposing myself a little bit, but not super bad, guys. You guys can see I'm just jumping around all over trying to keep this workbench down, try to keep this as flat as possible, because right now, put my level across here is pretty flat. Considering I just added 7 5/8 of an inch to this sheet. Hey guys, I did a bunch of tackles. I'm gonna knock them down. I don't know if this is right or not, but this is just what I'm doing. I do a bunch of tack welds that come back, knock them down. Then I know the spots that I gotta go in between. So I do a tack, all the way down. Then I go in between those tacks. Go in between those tacks, go in between those tacks, until I get enough where it's almost put together, knock everything down, then I come back and tack in between those. How are you guys? So I knocked a bunch of this paint off with the last flap disc. It was pretty bad. You can see I'm just doing a bunch of little tack welds all the way through here, trying to get this to be one piece again.